This is video number 3 in this little deep work series. And now we're going to really talk about what is the dividend? What do we get from doing this deep work? What really comes when the deep work is focused long enough that we start to catch a flow from it? Well, you can start to do the same amount of work in a much smaller time with more quality and at a higher yield. So if you're studying, your studying starts to get more profound in a shorter amount of time. I could study for maybe 20 minutes or maybe a half hour. And when I start to hit that flow state, when I really start to get into the zone, well, that's that's like an hour or two of studying with a chattery mind or a mind that has a lot of difficulty focusing. Now, the key for this is that it becomes something that is ultimately the highest form of currency is our attention and how we're broadcasting it into the universe, how we're focusing our spirit energy sometimes on a very single point to achieve a type of quality that can be recognized by yourself and can certainly be recognized by others. This becomes a type of efficiency. This becomes something that is very difficult to do in any other state other than a relaxed, focused mind. This is everything we've been talking about. We've been talking about attention. We've been talking about the ability to focus attention, and we've been talking about the ability to focus attention in a way that is relaxed, that is in a state of type of like laminar flow. And if you've ever seen water that's in a laminar state, it doesn't look like it's moving. It looks like a single ice crystal, and but it's still actually flowing. If you put your hand in it, you'll see that the water is still moving. There's a lot of things though that is perhaps intentionally designed to break that deep focus. You could turn 8 hours worth of work into 2 hours with the right type of focus, with the right type of flow. And I'm sure to some extent you've experienced this, where a very short amount of time, you're able to get a lot done. It could even be cleaning the house. Maybe you have some music on, and now all of the thoughts and all of the worries are kind of in a way, they're drowned out by the sound that you're listening to. So you're not paying attention to those worries and those problems and the voice in your head telling you that you have to do this or you have to do that. You're just doing your damn thing and you're cleaning the house. Yeah, even cleaning the house can be deep work. And if you do it long enough with focus and care and quality, it starts to turn into a flow state. And then before you know it, it's like, well, just an hour and a half and I'm all done. I did everything. Normally that would take all day. Well, that's a really nice scenario, but there's active triggers all over the world. And by all over the world, I mean in your experience. It's like it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there is a desire to pull your attention to have you respond to it. When you're scrolling and you're looking at Instagram or you're looking at Facebook, they don't want you to just scroll. They want you to respond to it. So they want this type of response that is very automatic, that is very habitual, and is very consumer friendly, as opposed to being laser focused, having your mental faculties organized. Your attention is clear. Where is my mind? This is what I want to do with my attention because I have something that I want to do with a great degree of quality. And we've been calling that deep work, whatever it is, cleaning the house, writing your poetry. Maybe it's just walking. Maybe a person just wants to walk with undivided attention, enjoying the walk fully. They'll catch a type of flow if they do that long enough, but there's always going to be something in the world that wants to have you switch back to just the responder mode, where it's stimuli, response, stimuli, response, stimuli, response. And then before you know it, you've walked through the park and you haven't engaged. You haven't listened to the birds. You haven't watched the sky. You haven't filled your bubble of perception with appreciation and contentment. You haven't done any of those things because there's all of these different forms of stimuli that are attempting to turn you into an automatic responder and respond with your credit card, respond with the click, respond with the like, respond with, you've heard of rage bait. Like they want to make you angry. They want to turn you into a mindless responder as opposed to a focused human being with elite ability to create deep work and create the type of focus necessary to catch that state of flow, no matter what it is you're doing. I knew somebody who he was my Tai Chi teacher, and he just happened to be good at everything. It was annoying. Like he could just pick up a baseball bat, I remember, and he was just jacking these home runs. And we're just like, wow, you must have played a lot of baseball in college. And he's like, no, never, never played baseball. It's pretty simple. You throw the ball, I hit it with the bat, and it goes far. I would watch him do things, and he just seemed to do everything with a type of quality. That's because he was able to focus. He was able to put his mind on the task. He was able to clear the chatter. He was able to cut through all of the distortions and all of the things that were trying to turn him into a mindless response pattern. That's what a lot of these entities that are out there, and it's not necessarily even nefarious. It's just that's the way that capitalism works. That's the way that consumerism works. They want to turn you into a profit, a cash profit. They want you to be the one that's helping them turn the profit. And then they want an entire class of human beings that are just highly responsive. And by responsive, I mean mindlessly so. It's just reactive. It's reactivity as opposed to deep, focused, clear attention on the moment, on their life, on the situation, and filling their bubble of perception with the feeling that they want. You know, space junk can fall from the sky, and Ernest is nothing but a memory. I want that moment to be met with a lot of appreciation, a lot of quality, a lot of joy, a lot of love. And if I'm not focused with my mind, the statistical probability of that is very low because the world is trying very hard to get you to be the fastest responder in the room, as opposed to the one with the deepest focus, the deepest ability to connect. When that happens, there's also a lot of feeling that comes from the things that they do. So if I'm a dancer, and let's say it's like an interpretive dance, which I'm not, that would be awful to watch, but let's just assume for a second that, somebody else is a dancer. And, they walk into the dance room and they have all of these things going on, and their rent is due, and they need to find a new space, and, the homework and things that they're doing in life is just piling up, and their girlfriend said that they smell funny, and it's just everything is just going wrong. Well, that dance is probably not going to be great unless the person can shed all of that interference and really focus on the task at hand. Now, if they do, let's just say hypothetically, that's their space. That's where they're used to leaving everything outside of the door, and they're able to focus on the task at hand. What they're doing is going to produce feeling that can be felt by another person who's watching, because that's what happens when we create this quality experience. We fill our bubble of perception with this felt quality in our experience, and other people can feel that too. So it's actually something that we can start to share with the world. We can start to share it with humanity and one another. Is our deep focus, is our deep work. That's something like a ripple that's going out in all directions. It's moving into the universe for all of eternity. The deep work that we do is in some way going to reverberate into the infinite and will make an impact in some way. So the more that we're filling our bubble of perception with this quality sensation of focus and clear intention, the more the deep work that we create is something that can last and can help evoke and create emotion and feeling in other human beings. So really starting to reclaim our attention, starting to make sure that we have a plan. And that's what this is all about, because this is a practice. And of course, we'll talk about this more, but it's, well, how can I use my mind practice throughout the day to help me create more of this quality, more of this focus that brings emotion and spirit and feeling and all of these different things, these vibrational states of being that we're filling the bubble of perception with. Well, how can I do that more, with more reliability, with more intentionality, with more frequency? That's what this is about. That's what this practice is all about. Hopefully, when I come into the treatment room, I'm filling that treatment room with quality. When I sit down and I write, hopefully I'm able to focus in such a way that the words that I type, I start to catch a type of writing flow. And before you know it, I've done 2 or 3 days worth of work in 20 or 30 minutes, and it's just busting at the seams with emotion and feeling and all of the quality that I wanted to put into it. So I think that this is a really important topic. What's your deep work? What's the thing that you really enjoy doing? Maybe it's sewing. Maybe it's stamp collecting. Who knows? Maybe you like to take vehicles apart and put them back together and do things in such a way that you're just infusing it with your spirit energy. That's what this is all about. And that's something that can really improve the more that we learn to practice. And we can continue to get this dividend from the deep work that we do. All right. Well, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions or anything, just leave a comment, let me know. I'll try to answer any questions. But please like and follow our page and do all of the things that people do. And I'll see you next time.